welcome to another episode of Prioritize. They accomplish while you drown in lists. It's difficult to juggle your responsibilities. Husband, father, brother. It goes on, but your energy doesn't.
You pondering what I'm pondering?
Prioritize what's right for you, not what's left behind. This is Prioritize with Toby Baker.
You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
Welcome to Prioritize. I'm your crazy white fat host, the Baker Boy himself. Glad you're with us. Here we talk about things that matter, or at least things that should matter to us. And we typically say that they matter. However, we have issues actually being able to put those in a perspective, making those count. At the end of the day, we look back and like, doggone it, I missed it again. Don't. It is troubles, I know. You know, recently we went on a little retreat, my family and I. We went over to a place near Petoskey, Michigan, in Good Heart, found a pretty sweet cabin. Years ago, many years ago, I became very overwhelmed with the many happenings that go on during Christmas. You know what I'm talking about? Where you have all these Christmas gatherings. You have, we were a young couple. We had a couple of kids. So no one was going to be visiting our home for Christmas. We were going to be traveling elsewhere. At least that's kind of the pattern that I've seen from other people. That seemed normal. I thought, okay, we'll do this. And we did. We would pack up the car. We would drive to my folks for Christmas or to her folks for Christmas the day before, a couple days before, and we'd spend time with them. And then we would go over to the other parents and celebrate and spend Christmas with them and eat good food and unwrap really neat, gifts, personable gifts. Things that people do around Christmas to celebrate the birth of Christ. And that was a priority for us. I've always been big on relationships. I love parties. I love food. I love surprising other people with things and being surprised myself. I love giving things away. I love giving gifts and seeing their, the expression on their faces. And yeah, some of that a little selfish. I like the feeling that gives when you give something away, when you give money away, when you go buy a present, you give it to somebody else, and the gift of generosity. Not everybody has this gift. You may have at some time in your life come into contact with people where you're like, you know what? You're not one of those generous people that I've heard about on the radio. Yeah. They're out there. They're not attractive. They are some pissy people, man. They are selfish. They are ugly on the inside. They are all about themselves. And I didn't want to be that way. My wife has never wanted to be that way. She is the pinnacle of grace, ladies and gentlemen. That's who my wife is. Living with me for 25 years. Cannot imagine the endurance that woman has, but it is incredibly powerful. She is a Proverbs 31 wife through and through. She has this quiet power about her that's amazing. And just love her to pieces. Glad she has chosen, she didn't have to, but she has chosen to stick beside me faithfully. And I likewise have chosen to stick beside her. Is that the idea of this podcast? No, not this one specifically, but as you will notice from time to time, I tend to get off on some rabbit trails. We'll try to bring that back around. Relationships do not happen by accident. Your job doesn't come to you by accident. There's a purpose there, right? Like you actually got yourself up out of bed, got yourself together, put some things on your face, did your hair up perfectly, threw some clothes on so that they looked proper. You went out, you did the interview. Or I guess even before you got the interview, you put together your resume. You focused on your resume. Who are you? Let me put this on paper. Let me see if I can get this in front of the right pair of eyes so that I can get in front of those people, plead my case. Here's what I'm good at. Here's what the value that I believe I can bring to your company, that I can bring to your company, your organization, your business. And likewise, let's do some exchange. I exchange my talent. You exchange some of that green paper. We'll put that paper to good use on my end. You put my talents to good use on your end. Let's see if we can make a deal. By golly, we'll make that happen. Sometimes you walk away and that was a good exchange. That was a good negotiation. You sealed the deal and both parties were mutually benefited. Sometimes not so much. So, but you made it a point. You made it a priority. You got out of bed. You said, hey, I just saw the most gorgeous woman. I have to know more about this person. I met my wife in college. It was a glorious day. I walked in. It was a small college, 90% to 98% women. And there was one other guy in our class at that time, and he was of good age. He was of a mature age. I'm going to say he was like 50-something and married. All the rest were women. So my odds of finding a woman that I could be with were very good in my favor. That's what I'm going to say. And lo and behold, I sat beside this gorgeous brunette. We struck up a conversation. I was very sly about this, by the way. I was very smooth. I walked in purposefully without any kind of pen or pencil. And wouldn't you know it, my goodness, the professor right off the back said, welcome class, good morning. Here's what I need you to do. You're going to take out a sheet of paper. You're going to take out a writing instrument, and we shall begin. I played this off so well, you're not even going to believe it. I looked on my one side. Oh, shoot, I murmured beneath my breath. I looked to my other side. Oh, doggone it. And I leaned into this beautiful brunette. I mean, she had, her hair was soft. You just want to be close to her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, her skin looks so smooth. I said, pardon me, miss, I'm so sorry to trouble you. I seem to have forgotten a writing instrument. Do you think I could borrow one of yours? And what do you think she's going to say? No, get away from me? No, man. You don't say those kinds of things to a person with my kind of hair, buddy. Of course, I have an extra pen right here. Let me get that for you. And she laid the pen in my hand ever so graciously. And, you want to talk about, feeling the ghost pimples? Yes, they were like the ghost pimples on my arms. Ooh. So I made it a priority to get to know her better. I asked her questions. I wanted to know, who is this vision of beauty beside whom I get to rest my weary butt and talk and think things through and kind of forge a sort of bond and just really get to know her. I made it a priority. I'm guessing if you're married still, or if you just got married, you made it a priority in your life to get to know that other person, to get to know that other human being. And if you're still married after 5, 10, 15 years, you made it a priority to forge that relationship, to maintain that bond. You set aside time to be with that lady. To still date her after all these years, to pick her up after work or to go together somewhere after work, to give her some space to unwind and get the makeup all did and get her hair all did. And meanwhile, you're getting the cologne game on. You got your wrist game rolling. You're looking at yourself in the mirror like, yes, I'm a person that she wants to be beside. And if you look in the mirror and you're like, I need to get, maybe a little work, maybe do something different with the hair, then by golly, you do it. Why? Because you care. That's why. Because you prioritize it. Because you're like, I want her to want me. That's kind of, is it selfishness? Maybe. I don't know. I guess you can judge for yourself. For me, I don't want her to be ashamed of the person she's with. And she never has been. How do I know this? Because I ask for her honest opinion. Honey, how am I doing as your husband? Why do I ask such a humble question like that? Don't I already know? Am I not the beggar boy himself? Yeah, I am. But you know what? All that baloney aside, I still want to know. Are there room? There's room for improvement somewhere, but because she is so gracious, she has yet to say, yeah, we should have a talk. We should have a talk. Okay, so whether it is an overabundance amount of grace on her part or just I'm just killing it on my end, which I got to believe there's room for improvement somewhere, and I seek out those ways to improve, we're still together, man. In this May, it'll be 25 years strong. Why do I bring all this to your attention? Because you don't care and you didn't ask me anyway. Well, I bring it to your attention because we just did a little family retreat. Years ago, when Joyce and I were sitting down after a rush of Christmas, and by the way, we no longer have those where we pack everybody in the car and we drive to one family house in the morning and the other side of the family in the evening, and then we drive home and we are just exhausted. We've become a lot smarter, realizing that, you know what, we can separate this out and everyone will live, everyone will survive, and we can actually have a better celebration. Let me explain myself. On one weekend, we will celebrate with her folks and her family. And I mean, her family does it upright. Okay, let me tell you how they do this. They send out a letter to everyone on her side of the family. Hey, here's where the party's going to be. Here's the time. Here's what you want to bring. And we'll see at about 1 o'clock. So they have aunts and uncles and cousins and nephews and nieces and brothers and sisters and moms and dads and children. They got children there too. They all come to this one place, be it a church basement, a reception hall, somewhere that they've designated, somebody's house that they've opened up. And everybody brings food. And my gosh, it is your fault if you walk away hungry. I'm talking steak, ribeye. I'm talking pork chops. I'm talking the sweetest corn that you've ever had in your life. I'm talking the juiciest turkey. They got farmers in this family, man. They're carving up those animals. They're butchering them. They're frying them up, and they're bringing them to this dinner. I really look forward to it, not just because there's good food, but there's people there too. And you come and you share stories. You share about your life, and you laugh, and you eat. Sometimes you're crying, you're laughing so hard. Sometimes you're bursting at the gut because you ate just a tad bit too much. But it's a good time. We celebrate Christmas together as a family. And we do that on one weekend. And another weekend, we go over to my folks' house. And it's kind of similar, not exactly the same, but we still all eat, we laugh, we share stories. And then on one weekend, generally, it is the Christmas day. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, it is just my wife and I and our boys. And we celebrate together. We prioritize that time. We carve out that time. Now, please don't hear that I'm judging you if you don't carve out some specific amount of time and you're like, you're the evil. No. You're not evil. You're not bad. I'm telling you, this is important to me. And what you will find if you examine your life is this, that you make time for the things that are important to you. If it's important to you that your health is in a really good physique, by golly, you're going to the gym or you got equipment in your own home, you're drinking 70 ounces plus of water per day, you're exercising, you're crunching, you're doing the push-ups, the sit-ups, the windmills, the jumping jacks, you're doing the wall sits, you're doing the burpees, the paleo, the stretch, the keto. I guess keto's big now, keto. Yeah, you're making that happen because that's a priority to you, right? That's a priority for you. Well, Christmas is a priority for us. So on Christmas Eve, we all gather together. We gather around the tree. We sing a couple songs. We read some verses of Scripture. Before we even get to the tree, we go to or attend either online or in person a Christmas Eve service because it's important to me. Do I recommend you do that? Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I think traditions are a solid thread for family. And if you have ever seen the movie Mouse Hunt, you know the philosopher in there says, without string, the world is chaos. I don't know if that's entirely true, but it does kind of make sense, right? How are you going to have clothing if you don't have thread? If you don't have string and threads of some kind, how are you assembling your leather Chesterfield couch that resides properly in your sitting area next to the fireplace? Huh? How are you doing that? So we've changed some of the ways by which we celebrate Christmas. Like I said, we got a weekend at her folks, one of mine, and then some time just for us, just for our family. And, prior to that, I was thinking, gosh, it'd be nice just to get away. I keep seeing these Instagram photos. You've probably seen them too, of just a gorgeous log cabin out in the middle of nowhere. They got the lights on. They got the fire on. The light is dim, rather. The fire is on. They got a cup of coffee right there. They got their laptop open. They're writing their next novel. They're reading a really good book. They're, cozying up next to the fireplace. And I'm like, that looks so good. Just a little retreat after a lot of the rush of the Christmas season, making sure that, we bought gifts for everybody because we try to be generous, making sure that, I don't know, man, I just... Christmas is special for me, and I want it to be special for our boys. I believe that it is. So it's because it's important to me, I work hard at it. And after working hard, you want to take a little breakaroo. That's what it is for the Baker Boy. And we said, hey, you know what? There's this great place over near Petoskey, Michigan. There's a log cabin out in the middle of nowhere. And you'll never believe this. Oh, it had an outside jacuzzi. There's a jacuzzi right outside. Now, mind you, it's 20-degree weather, which is perfect for hot tubs. I'm telling you. You don't feel that 20-degree weather unless you're walking out there to the jacuzzi without sandals, and you're sliding and slipping and falling on your rear end. Not that has happened to me. I'm saying that I know of a guy that this happened to. So, but, oh, man, log cabin, fireplace, we did that. How did we do it? Because it became a priority. So I asked one of my assistants, hey, I need you to start researching some areas in Michigan. We want a log cabin. We definitely got to have a fireplace, open floor plan. We want a kitchen because we are going to be cooking up some stuff. Man, let me tell you, one morning we made French toast. We had maple syrup, butter. We had blueberries. We had strawberries. None of the fruit actually made it to the French toast, now that I think about it. We ate the fruit while we were making the French toast. And, oh, man, it had powdered sugar. It was Instagram-worthy, people, but I didn't have time, nor did I care, to take pictures of my French toast. Not that I'm hating on you if you take pictures of your food, because you will not believe, oh, man, how tough it was back in the day in the 1980s and 90s before cell phones, when we're all, taking our Polaroid out and we're snapping a picture of our photo of our food, or we got our Kodak there and we're taking pictures, and then you got to take the 1 hour photo to get the photo of your food, and then you're trying to put it up at different posters and places so that people could see that, and they'd put it, okay, so that never really happened, but you get kind of the ludicrousness of it all. Yeah, I sometimes take pictures of my food. Why do you got to hate on me, huh? What did I ever do to you? What did I ever do? Anyway, we made it a priority. We brought the family with us, so my brother and his wife and our two adorable nieces, and we have another adorable niece in there too, so we had all three adorable nieces, and then my mom and dad. We all go over to this cabin near Petoskey, Michigan. Fantastic place. I would highly recommend it. Gorgeous fireplace. Anyway, here's what I want to leave you with today. It didn't happen until we prioritized it. Okay? We had to clear away some debt before we could save up money. Because believe me, we're paying for cash. We paid cash for this. You paid cash for it. The other families, we split it amongst the three of us, and we paid cash for it. I don't want to carry around a lot of debt. I wasn't trading debt for memories. You don't have to either. You definitely don't have to. Follow the Dave Ramsey principles and solutions with Financial Peace University. Look it up online. Go to that. I've been following the podcast. All of the principles that are taught in Financial Peace University, he tells people, the daily callers, every single day they're calling them up. He lays out the principles for them. It's 7 easy steps. They're not simple to follow, but they're very simplistic in their ideals. Okay, so we've been following through the baby steps from Financial Peace University, and Dave Ramsey has done wonders for our finances. Years ago, less than a couple years back, came home and I'm talking with Joyce. I'm like, hey, we've been doing money our way for like close to 23 years. It's not working. Okay, it's not working for us. We are not succeeding. We are not progressing in our finances like we should, I would imagine. Like we should at this age and at this stage in our life. I would have hoped we'd been farther along than what we were, but it turns out that just wasn't the case. So what we had to do was switch that around. And we followed the baby steps that put us to a position where we could secure a log cabin in the middle of nowhere with a beautiful fireplace, an open floor pan, a kitchen pan, open floor plan, full-size kitchen where we made, we made fajitas. We made chicken fajitas. We had French toast. They had one of the mornings they made, what did they make? Biscuits and gravy with sausage, bacon. Oh, man, if you can picture that in front of a full crackling fireplace on an early morning with the sun just rising over in the distance. If you stepped outside, it was a little chilly, but you could hear Lake Michigan in the distance. You could hear the waves crashing against the shore. Am I painting a good picture for you? That experience we will carry with us for the rest of our lives. And we want several more just like that. We want to eat tacos in Mexico. We want to drink espresso in Italy. You know, we want to do some traveling. I'd like to swim with the sharks in the Caribbean, but not the great whites, you know, not the tiger sharks or the bull sharks, the real aggressive sharks. I want to go to the shark retirement community where they're all on some form of crutches or a walker or that new spin bike where you put your knee on the little seat and then you kind of roll your. That's the shark community I want to swim in, where they can't remember where they left their teeth, so they're certainly not going to be using those teeth to take a bite out of Toby to see how tasty he is. Okay. Not that community, the other community, you know, where it's like, what's in that doors over there? Is that the morgue? What's the morgue doing at the shark nursing home? That doesn't sound good. That's me. That's where I'd like to go. But I think it'd be a little thrilling. Swim around with some sharks, you know, do some shark diving. So we want to travel. We're not going to be able to travel if we are hamstrung with debt. So we make it a priority. I encourage you to do this thing here, okay? What is your one thing or two things that you really want to see happen this year? Huh? You want to start that exercise plan? Make it a priority. Set a goal. Make it measurable, right? Make it accurate. It's got to be a realistic goal, but measurable. I will weigh 200 pounds before June 1st, 2021. This year, folks, not next year. I have forsaken the Krispy Kreme. Because I want to lose. I got 30 pounds to lose. Can I lose them? Absolutely I can. We are January something, whatever today's date, 19th. I have the time. It is a reachable goal. It is a measurable goal. I got some people who are going to be keeping me accountable. If you want to be one of them people, by all means, jump on board. You can send me messages at let's do me at tobybaker.life. I welcome, it's not .com, it's not .org, it's .life, L-I-F-E. So me at tobybaker.life. Send me a message. You know, how can I help you? How can I help you prioritize? How can I help you move from A to B? How can I help you move from here to there? Set your goal. Make it measurable. Make it reachable. Make it usable. Get some people around you to help keep you accountable. Let me know where I can help. That is the reason I am here.